It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They're learning how to shoot and learning how to light, learning how to mic and edit right. These are TCTV's finest in training, doing their best with focusing and framing. It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. You're watching TCTV. It's the Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They will get better.
Hi, I'm Peter Goodmanson, and this is the TCTV Training Show. Well, today, since it's such a beautiful summer day, we're going to be spending the afternoon outside, and I've got some great training segments for you guys to watch. If you aren't familiar with the training show, here's how it works. Students in the digital field and editing class have to produce a 2 to 4 minute video that demonstrates the skills they've learned in the class. And what we'll do is we'll take these videos and put them on air for everyone to see. And we'll review them too. So it's a great chance for students to take a project from the beginning stages all the way to the end and see something through, and then be able to watch it on Channel 22. So without further ado, let's go on to our first video segment. This one is by Dan Saka, and he took a camera down to the Tumwaters Farmers Market and got some footage and put it together into a nice segment. So I've got my laptop out here with me, and we can watch that segment right now. Let's take a look.
I'm Connie Allison, the Tumwater Town Center Farmers Market Manager, and we've had a great day today. Today was the dog days of summer. We had flyball demonstrations, agility demonstrations, and we've got a couple of rescue groups, and the animal services came down. We have events every summer throughout July and August. Next week we have the Artisan Fair. That's on August 11th. We're here in the park. We'll have artists and craftspeople selling their wares. So hopefully you can stop on by. We're open every Wednesday from 11 to 2 from the end of May through the end of October. So go on down. It's a lot of fun.
Nice job, Dan. You had a large variety of shots in your video, and I think you highlighted a lot of what makes the Tumwaters Farmers Market interesting. There were some interesting artistic shots as well. At one point you had a shot of organic veggies overlaid over some carts there, and I thought that was an interesting way to give some artistic qualities to make your video have a little bit more depth. One thing that you might do to improve your video in the future is to take some of those long shots and cut them down a little bit. one of the hardest skills to learn is to take video that is too long and decide what the best part of that is and trim just that section down. If you've watched any Hollywood movies or television shows these days, you'll notice that the shots are very quick, and it's important. That's an important skill to learn in order to capture and keep the attention of your audience. Now, Dan, I'm not sure exactly what the significance of the dogs running backwards was at the end of your video, but it was really hilarious, and if anything, it made me laugh. But Dan, thank you for your video. You're off to a great start, and I look forward to seeing what you'll produce in the future. So let's go on to our second segment. This one is by Amanda Garrett, and she took a camera down to Wolf Haven and shot some footage there. So this should be pretty interesting. Let's take a look.
My name's Eric Wilbur. I've been here at Wolf Haven for going on five years now. I'm part of the animal care group here at Wolf Haven, and that means I help take care of the animals on a day-to-day basis. Wolf Haven exists solely because there is a big pet trade for wolves and wolf dogs. Wolves and wolf dogs do not make good pets. So wolves, first off, are wild animals, and people make the mistake that, oh, if I get this animal as a puppy and I raise it like a dog, it's going to turn out like a dog. And it's not going to turn out like a dog. It's going to turn out like a socialized wild animal, an animal that has all of its basic instincts, but at the same time is no longer afraid of people. And that's the most dangerous combination you can have. When you're getting a wolf and a dog mix, what you're doing is you're taking, that wild animal that has the wild instincts, and now you're mixing instincts that also tell it needs to be a happy lap dog, and it needs to, it needs to be man's best friend. And you're mixing these two, and you're really rolling the dice when you get a wolf dog hybrid. You have no idea what kind of animal you're gonna get. You can either get a dog that looks like a wolf, or you can get a wolf that looks like a dog. You really have no idea. Out in the wild, wolves typically hunt deer and elk. That's their main source of prey. And they'll go after animals such as moose, caribou, if it happens to be in their territory, bison. There are some packs in southern Yellowstone that is one of the primary things that they eat is bison. So they typically hunting very large animals. Wolves are very intelligent animals. And if you were to put a dog of comparable size up next to a wolf has roughly a third larger brain than that of that dog's. So that means these animals are going to get bored much faster in captivity because they are that more intelligent. And you put an animal in an enclosure like that and give them a couple days and they've seen everything there is to see, and they've done everything there is to do. And so we have what we call an enrichment program here at Wolf Haven to help stimulate them, to help break up with the monotony of the day. And that involves so many different things. We do have specially designed toys for these animals. We have boomer balls, which are hard plastic hollow balls. We do have specially designed puzzle feeders for these wolves. Scent enrichment is a big thing for these wolves. Their sense of smell is their strongest sense. Woodland Park Zoo every once in a while will donate bear poop to these wolves, and the wolves just love rolling in that. So one of the biggest ways I feel that we impact the community is through education. People coming through the sanctuary, they get a 45-minute to an hour tour with one of our tour guides, and they learn about wolf ecology and biology and the role the wolves play in the ecosystem. That's the biggest thing I think facing wolves out in the wild is misinformation or lack of information. And so here at Wolf Haven, by providing this information for people, they can learn about these animals, they can see what they do, the role they play, and how important they are in the ecosystem.
Amanda, you had a really funny introduction. I liked the contrast that you made between dogs and wolves. I also liked the music that you chose for your video. It was in the background behind the interview, and it added just another layer of depth that people could tune into, and it kept things interesting and fresh. You had a lot of great shots of the wolves walking around their pens, socializing with each other, rolling on the grass, and I thought you did a great job of splicing different things in with your interview. Also, you had some photos that you got from Creative Commons sites, as I understand, and that's just an excellent use of things you can find on the internet that are free to use with permission, and you integrated that just perfectly into your video. One thing that I thought could have used some work were the cuts between the interview. Now, it almost sounded at times like the man was interrupting himself, and you can fix this by just trimming as close to the beginnings and the ends of the sentence as you can and crossfading that with something else. I know it can be tough to cut when the person keeps on talking and doesn't leave pauses in between, but that's something that you can coach your interview subject before the shoot starts. Let them know that it makes your job 1,000% easier in the edit suites when there is some dead time in between sentences to work with. Thank you, Amanda, for your piece. That was really nice. So we're going to go on to our third segment, and this is by Jeff Kleingartner and Jamie Jensen, and they went over and shot some footage at the library. Let's take a look.
I wish I knew where this went.
What's the matter?
I don't have a manual for the car, and I can't figure out how to put this on.
Maybe Central Reference can help.
What's that?
It's a service the library has where...
I don't want to do research on the car. I just want a diagram to help me put this in the car and get it running.
No, really. You know, I wanted to find that apple pie recipe I saw on Paula Dean's show the other day, and they were really helpful. Central Reference can help with answers to all sorts of questions. Central Reference is located at the Timberland Service Center in Tumwater. They provide answers to information requests via telephone, email, and chat. They're available to talk to you in person Monday through Thursday from 9 to 9, Friday from 9 to 6, and Saturday from 9 to 5. Their Ask a Librarian service is available online all day, every day. When you request information by telephone or chat, you'll be connected with experienced professional librarians to guide you to the information and resources you need. Even if you're having trouble finding what you want in the Timberland catalog, they can help you locate whatever item you're looking for. They answer about 200 questions a day and responded to over 67,000 questions last year. And while it's helpful to have a Timberland Library card, it's not required. To ask a question by email or chat, you need access to a computer and an email account. Go to the Timberland webpage, www.trl.org, and click on Ask a Librarian. You can then fill out the email form to submit your question. Responses to email requests will be answered immediately or within 24 to 48 hours. The patron can click on Ask a Question to chat with a librarian in real time 24/7. Type in your name, your email address, and your question. Then click Connect. Within 1 minute, a librarian will be available to answer your question.
That's amazing. What does it cost?
Nothing. It's part of the service you get when you have a library card. Why don't you give it a try?
Hello. I have a question about my 1997 Volvo. You have a manual online? That's great.
Wow, you guys, that was a great video. One of my favorite things about it was the pantomiming over the car at the very beginning. It was excellent to just see a creative shot like that. They kind of simulated a conversation people might have that would lead them to the library to use that tool. I thought you guys had some nice wide shots, first of the outside of the building, and then you brought your tripod indoors and got some nice slow pans of the stacks. I thought the animated website with the arrows showing where to go at the end was genius. You guys used typewriter text to great effect in the URL fields, and you also showed people the pages on where to click, and it was just a nice, concise summary of how to get to that resource. Although I do want to add that this video segment is a year or two old, and so the website has changed since then. All you have to do to get to the same resource is to click on the research in the menu, and then choose Ask a Librarian from there. Thank you, Jeff and Jamie, for that great team effort. Okay, we're gonna move on to our final video segment, and this is by Alex England. You guys are gonna like this.
Hi, my name's Tom Hudson. I'm the costume designer in residence here at Capitol Playhouse, and welcome to our facility. The theater is an amalgamation and a collection of many creative inputs all coming together to make a cohesive whole. And I'd like to take a few moments and take you on a quick tour of the theater so you can see some of the different areas that all come together to make a theatrical production. Let's begin with the theater itself. As you can see, there are no sets, no lights, and no costumes, no music. This is a part that most theater patrons never get to see. A completely undressed, if you will, theater, ready for its next production. And now, let's step backstage. Dennis, if you would please. This is the unseen part of the theater, a part that most people don't even know exists. And here is backstage. Access here is strictly forbidden. And here we are in the shop area. And the gentleman with the Dremel in his hand, carving the pink styrofoam, is our technical director, Mr. Bruce Hosel, who is an extremely creative and talented gentleman. And he is currently working on some accessory pieces for Scrooge, which is the musical we're currently in production for. As you can see, he has created some gargoyles out of styrofoam. These will be painted and treated to look like 300-year-old stonework. Here is the door knocker for Scrooge's front door, also made out of styrofoam. And here is the assistant technical director, Dennis Kurtz, who is currently working on some structural elements for the set. And here is the wig master for Capitol Playhouse, Mr. Michael Costain, who comes to us from New York City. And let me let him say a few words about his craft, at which he is such a genius.
It's not fully completed yet, but this is sort of like the next step up. This has been joined together. We have it painted the way we want it, hopefully, until we see it under lights.
And now we're in my lair, which is the costume shop. This is a place of color and magic, and I find it incredibly inspiring. This is where I put all the little tidbits and scrap ends and bits of things that I find inspiring, and I end up putting them together and building a show from them. For example, this is a garment that will be used in our upcoming production of Scrooge for a role that isn't even cast yet. It's for the role of Jen, Ebenezer Scrooge's little sister. But what I've done is I found an old matelassé bedspread, I found a shower curtain, and some leftover Cluny lace. No one will ever know that this is just a collection of leftover tidbits because it will catch the light, look beautiful and elegant on her.
Thank you for watching this video tour of Capitol Playhouse. For more information on Capitol Playhouse and playdates, visit www.capitolplayhouse.com or call 943-2744.
Alex, I loved your intro with the music and the shots of the sign and the man standing on the sidewalk. That was a great way to introduce the place, and you put it together so well that I could have sworn I was watching a professional show. I thought that you went above and beyond to get the people working in all sorts of different departments. You got a lot of great footage with it. The only problem I had with some of that was that it was a little dark. In Final Cut, there is a video filter known as Color Corrector, and it's here that you can boost your black levels, mid levels, and white levels in order to make your video look a little bit better exposed. Again, along with a lot of the other segments we've watched today, you had some great B-roll, Alex. There were a lot of shots that you cut to, such as the different dresses and things at the end, and those added just another layer of depth that kept people's interest. Alex, something that you may want to work on is using a different kind of microphone, because I noticed that in different areas when the host was talking, at first it was very echoey and then it was really muted and everywhere in between. And so using the same kind of mic, maybe perhaps a lavalier on him, will help keep some of those sounds as similar as possible and not just rely on the on-camera mic, because honestly, the stereo mic on top of the GLs just isn't that great. And so if you use an external mic, you'll have a lot more control. Thank you, Alex, for that excellent video segment. Well, it's that time in our program for the training tip of the day. So, check it out.
It's the TCTV Training Tip of the Day. TCTV Training Tip of the Day. TCTV Training Tip of the Day.
Greetings, I'm Dan Bennett, and this is the Training Tip of the Day. And in today's training tip, we're going to be discussing voiceovers and using various microphones depending on your location. In this case, I'm using an Omni mic and I'm outside. And as you can tell, there's a lot of traffic going on behind me, and so there's going to be a lot of ambient noise. And what I'm going to do a little bit later is throw in some voiceovers using different microphones in a controlled environment as opposed to outside. So this is an Omni mic here. And what I'm going to do is exchange different microphones, and we'll just see how that sounds. As you can see, it's got the little vents right here. And my thought has been, and I won't know until I listen to this, my thought is that being a cardioid, it's going to pick up sound that comes in behind me. You'll be able to hear the cars as they travel right behind me. And so a cardioid mic might not be the most optimum mic to use in a situation like this. This is a shotgun mic, and it can be useful, but it's more useful in pointing and being very specifically directioned at a particular sound that you're trying to pick up. So what I'm going to do is put the Omni mic back on, and then I will say incoherent things, and it won't matter because I'm going to be doing voiceovers for that particular part. Okay, this is a voiceover using a lav mic attached to my shirt. I don't know if it sounds better or worse than the others, but there's a little bit of ambient noise, and this is to show you that it will pick up a little bit, so you definitely want to have a controlled noise environment. Okay, let's move on to the next mic. This is the sound of a USB microphone. I favor USB microphones simply because of their convenience. They work on both PCs and Macs interchangeably, and they're very convenient as well because while you're editing and you want to do a voiceover, you can just plug the mic in the back of the cow and the Final Cut immediately recognizes it. This is the built-in microphone that can be found on all of the cows and all of the laptops. And it's very convenient if you need to do a quick little voiceover while you're editing at the time. A lot of people use this function because they need to see the video to be able to do the accompanying audio for timing. And it doesn't use any tape, and it doesn't use any special equipment, and it's really quite convenient. The drawback is that it does not often sound as good, a little hollow. And you can tell by comparing it to the sound of the other mics. Okay, this is a voiceover using a flip cam. Well, the microphone inside a flip cam. And after a little bit of conversion, we will throw this over top of the video to see how it sounds. And if it sounds great, great. If not, well, there's other things to try. Let's move on to the next mic. This is a voiceover using a lav mic. This is the sound of a USB microphone. This is the built-in microphone that can be found on all of the cows and all of the laptops. This is a voiceover using a flip cam. This is a voiceover using a lav mic. This is the sound of a USB microphone. This is the built-in microphone that can be found on all of the cows and all of the laptops. This is a voiceover using a flip cam. So I'm Dan Bennett, and this has been the Training Tip of the Day. Okay, we're going to see what the camera mic sounds like. Okay, hit it. Okay, I'm going to try and talk to you with the camera mic on, and you may not be able to hear a word that I'm saying. I could be saying all kinds of crazy talk, and you would just never know because of all the awful background noise, and it's really annoying, and so just don't do it. Don't do what I'm doing right now. Use a microphone. Don't use the in-camera. It's just no good. It's no good. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of our show. Join us next time on The Training Show. It airs Thursday nights at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 3:30 p.m. on TCTV Channel 22. If you'd like to become involved in the class, give us a call at 956-3100 or go online to our website at tctv.net and click on Training from the menu. Well, thanks for watching and enjoy the weather out there.
It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show.